Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Action Comics number 988. Look, this was a really, really amazing good comic, yet it's not going to get a particularly high grade, and I'm going to explain all that first. Look, first off, the story itself. Jor-El is alive, and he goes and he tells kal-el, hey, listen, go ahead and check for my son. This was actually kind of interesting. This was one of those things that I personally saw as very interesting. And sorry, that was actually my kal-el's toy falling. Anyway, what do you call it? It seems that if there's a specific law on Krypton that if this is your robot or this is your object, it will obey you first. But if the creator of the object walks in, okay, no, actually, I'm going to obey him first. And then if the benefactor, the person who paid for the creation of this robot comes in, oh, no, actually, I've got to obey you first. So that's interesting. It's good. It's bad. It's good. It's different. It's interesting. And I hope that is something that they actually incorporate into Kryptonian law as we know it. Because obviously Jor-El can explain a whole bunch of things now. That's kind of cool. Look, more interesting stuff about Krypton that we never knew before. Am I just reading into this a bit too much? Maybe. Either way, already talked about that too much. This comic was really good in the sense that we got an establishment that Jor-El is not a freaking idiot. He created an armada of ships. I believe that was the word that was used, an armada of ships to help Kryptonians. And then his wife's father, Superman's maternal grandfather, came in and was like, dude, you're going to get in trouble. We're not allowed to be astronauts anymore. So no. And he tells kal-el, listen, destroy the code for all of these ships, shut them down permanently. And he's like, yes, master. And they all get wasted, essentially. So Jor-El goes and has just enough time, like a couple weeks, to repair one of these ships, to put their own, modified thrusters on it so that at least one of them can be saved. And that's why only kal-el went. So no more of this, oh, he can go, but we will still maintain the laws of Krypton and we shall obey our leaders. Obeying leaders is stupid if it's a stupid decision. So, no, we all have minds. We are not freaking lemmings, okay? Lemmings are lemmings. Sometimes lemmings aren't even lemmings. The idea here is I always hated that particular aspect that mostly seems to be prevalent in the movies, but nonetheless, that was always a stupid aspect for me. I'm very glad that this put the kibosh on that. No, Jor-El was more than happy to break that law because it was a stupid freaking law. That being said, Superman gets to go off, but somebody goes and perhaps it was Dr. Manhattan teleports Jor-El away just as he sees his wife being completely disintegrated. Now, before he leaves also, he winds up getting hit by splinters and explosions of the self-destructing Krypton. So he gets hit by pieces, therefore, of Krypton. Now he gets teleported immediately to Earth. When he goes there, he's hurt, and there are these green spikes inside him. It's kryptonite. Why? Because these shattered parts of Krypton are inside of him. Now he's on Earth. Now that becomes kryptonite. So I like that aspect. Hence why his eye has pus constantly coming out of it. And he's all sorts of jacked up because, boom, there you go. So again, Dan Jurgens, freaking amazing story writing, dude. Absolutely amazing. All that being said, I'm curious. First of all, just basically he's really upset with humanity because his benefactor, the person who saved him, took him to a Clockwork Orange style prison where he's watching the worst of humanity. Never mind the fact that kal-el, his son, wound up getting the best home possible out in the middle of Kansas. No. That's the exception. The average of humanity is that they're all a bunch of savage war animals. Yeah, thanks for that. Although sometimes I do feel like that once in a while, I do know the fact that it's simply not true. That's not true. So the idea that he wouldn't recognize that, especially after the things that he said to Tim Drake over in Detective Comics, dude, that was a prison of the, making air quotes now, mind. So no, I can't believe that he was that weak-minded that he's just going to fall for that brainwashing nonsense. No, humanity is not that bad as a whole. Some humans are that bad. That being said, he says to Clark, dude, humanity does not deserve you for 1 second more. Come on, we're going off planet. And the next issue says, yeah, they're going off planet. That'll be October 11th that releases. Wow. Wow. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a very tentative B-. Now, before you start screaming at me, I loved this comic. It was great. Here's the thing. The aspect of Jor-El itself was a little bit off kilter to me. Maybe that will be fixed. Maybe it'll be explained. But for right now, it's not. So it's up in the air. And that's around B- area. On top of that, the idea that who actually asked for Jor-El to come back? Because this is a pretty crucial part of Superman's history. If it's not Jor-El, well then, once again, how do you explain how we were just duped like this? Why'd you keep telling us it is? So, yeah, if it is him, then what's going to happen? Does he have to die again? Does he just decide to go off someplace else? I mean, and then does his mother one day come back? Here's the thing. Nobody actually asked for Bucky to come back, but Ed Brubaker did a fantastic job of bringing him back, and we were always like, dude, well then why didn't they bring him back sooner? That was amazing. Can Dan Jurgens pull a Bucky in this particular story? Because this is a crucial aspect of who and what Superman is. It's one of the things that actually makes him super. So will this change Superman for the better or the worse or at all? Will this actually play into everything? So much stuff just literally up in the air. Yeah, and I don't really know what else to say besides that. This is a really good comic, but I'm scared. I'm actually a little bit nervous about this comic because it could wind up going south real fast. And I don't want to see that happen. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.